Okay, let's talk about the invisible enemy. Leaky sales systems. What do I mean by that? So let's go over what a pristine sales system looks like. And this is just going to be kind of like the ABC basics, because sometimes as entrepreneurs we get so entrenched and ingrained in the specifics and go so deep down rabbit holes, we need to be brought back to reality and just start with the basics. So here's my system. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to acquire traffic that's qualified, convert that traffic into leads, close opportunities, and then do deals. And then not only do I want to stop, this is the front end right here, this is the front end system, but the back end system is equally as important, because what I want to do is I want to retain customers or clients, especially clients. I want to expand them. So this is like a upsell, downsell, cross-sell opportunity, or maybe there's some sort of switch in the offer. So if you structure something as performance basis, maybe this kicks in after we hit X revenue target. A really powerful way to frame a win-win guarantee. In just a B2C business, the way that you expand is as you create customer ascension early on, you go above and beyond, and you give more than you get, and then you get more than you give consequently. And then this generates a referral fly engine for your business, to where they would go to their mom, their friend, their realtor, to work with you because of their experience. And then you evangelize. And that's what the 1% of the 1% of companies do really well. So they don't just stop at the expansion, they evangelize. So they make the brand an identity and a reality that's baked into the psyche, the conscious, and the belief systems of the person. So this is what we want to do on a basic level. Now what this actually looks like on a triangular level. So this is your business, right? And you see these all represent potential energy. So this is all potential energy right here, all of these little lines. So you're attracting, right? That's how you're acquiring traffic. How are you going to acquire the traffic? Now, the caliber and the quality of your traffic and how qualified it is in direct correlation to your offer, your content, and your messaging. Now, what I mean by this is, if you don't have message to market match, then your leads are going to be poor. If your offer is bad, then your leads aren't going to convert. They're going to ghost you, so on and so forth. The better your offer is, the easier sales becomes. The better your messaging is, the more leads that you're going to have that are qualified. You see what I'm saying? So in a very foundational way, and for a very foundational principle, we want to start attracting. And where am I at this? I'm talking about advertising, okay? So if we look at all the different ways to do things, there's one-to-one, there's one-to-many, there's inbound, and there's outbound. Inbound is just going to be anything where we're creating content or we're creating an ad that is then bringing in leads. And then outbound is just DM, text, call, voicemail, door knocking, anything that's cold that's going out to an audience, where we're going out into the marketplace to then try to convert them into interest, is going to be cold. Now, attracting them, again, this varies on a case-by-case basis for each vertical, and usually you want to use a mixture of these, but you need to figure out what is most effective for you at this stage of your business, okay? There's not one methodology that's going to be God tier. Maybe there is for your specific vertical, but as an overarching principle, it's not all about X, okay? It's all about test. Oh, look at the data, test again, right? That's how you end up with all of these channels working congruently and harmoniously amongst each other. So, part one, attract them, acquire the traffic that's qualified. Convert the leads. How do we convert the leads? This refers to our landing pages. This refers to our forms. What does the form say? What are the questions that you're asking? As a little pro tip, the questions that you want to ask on forms are pre-qualification and pre-selling questions. So you pre-qualify the lead with, if you had to get rid of, if you were forced to use only 3 questions, what 3 questions would you ask to qualify the lead? And then if you're in a B2B or in high ticket space, then you really want to start thinking about pre-selling the lead. So if you're selling like coaching or a really high ticket course, like, are you ready to invest in yourself now? Those type of questions can work really good. Are you ready to place an order today? Like, you just have to make it, it's case dependent, but the higher you go in ticket price, the more you need to pre-sell the lead. And the lengthier your questionnaire tends to need to be. It needs to be almost like an application, because people need to get really entrenched and ingrained into the actual qualification process. Then, like, the more effort, like, it's the sunk cost fallacy, right? So if they put in all of that effort, then the likelihood that they're going to work with you to take you up on a high ticket offer increases, rather than if it was a frictionless form for something like download this lead magnet that teaches you how to run traffic, acquire leads on Facebook, right? Or I need a pest control person right now, right? It can be a lot more frictionless. Depends on the vertical, depends on the actual business and the use case. So these are our landing pages, super important. If you don't have a landing page and you're just writing social, that works too, because then it just becomes about your offer, your messaging and your content, and then your actual form, and then boom, and then the copy. The copywriting refers to everything. So the copywriting is very, very, very important, often overlooked. And this refers to, what does your landing page say? The landing page is all about how good can you write copy and how good is your offer. It's those two things working in conjunction that make it A++ landing page, and it's gonna take a business from converting 3% of traffic to 30% of traffic. Which whenever you run the numbers on this, it's way more than a 10x in revenue. So, and then the actual scripts. So what happens whenever they fill it out? Does somebody need to get on the phone, and does somebody need to talk to them? If they do, like if somebody's calling into my company and I own a roofing company, the last thing that I want is A, not to answer the phone, which is what most of you guys do if you don't answer the phone. B, if that call gets missed, I want to have a system in place that's going to text them back, or it's going to at least log it into the CRM so that we can see that it came through the business line. If you don't have this, you can go here, lawyersonly.com, and book the 30-second scroll down, like just a little bit, and then click the 30-second lead response window and get you hooked up with our software. All this speed to lead stuff is super important, which I'm going to show you how important this is actually statistically here in a bit. But those are the first two things I want to get right. Pick up the phone, always have somebody that answers the phone. If the call is missed, always have a auto text back feature, auto log in the CRM feature, or else you're just losing money. And then C, line of questioning. Last thing you want somebody to do is call into your roofing company, ask you a couple questions, they answer all the questions, and then they hang up. So somebody's always leading, somebody's always following in a conversation, and whomever is the person that is taking the calls needs to be leading the prospect through a line of questioning that is going to take them from current state to future desire, and begin taking them through the various pipeline stages of the business. And then finally, we want to expand. So we need a customer success manager that is going to expand and evangelize the client or the customer. Now this is what creates a trinity, or what would you call it, of energy in a business. So this is like a vortex of energy. If you have all of these three things working harmoniously, then you have a mass amount of energy in your business, because you're attracting leads, you're acquiring traffic, you're converting those into deals, and then you're retaining, expanding, and evangelizing the customer base, and then creating that referral flywheel on the back end as well to get down your cost per acquisition. Okay, so let's go over what the big three cash killers are. One, easiest one to fix, speed to lead, under 5 minutes. If you get in touch with somebody within 5 minutes, you're 100 times more likely to connect and convert the lead. So, but what I see is 98% of businesses do not even do this. I don't know what the exact statistic is, but it is a super high amount of businesses that are 21 hours, 48 hours, your lead is dead by then. So it's a horrible thing. Good, you can go here, lawyersonly.com, and we can hook you up with the software, because you do need software or a system to do this. A human cannot do this. The most optimal time is either instantly or within 30 seconds. Okay, so instantly, and if instant is just too weird based on like the offer or the journey that they're coming through, then under 30 seconds. Now it doesn't have to sell them, but it needs to, because what you need is engagement. Like if you can get that micro action, then you're much more likely to get macro actions, right? If you've ever read Influence by Robert Cialdini, it's a fantastic book. He talks about this. I would really recommend reading it if you're in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're advertising, marketing, because this little principle of like a micro action makes it a lot easier to make a macro action. And so you kind of relate that to somebody like that would get you to, say you're at an event and you walk up to a vendor and they're cooking and it smells good and they hand you a little toothpick with a sample, you eat it, and it's super hard for you to walk away, right? And so the probability that you actually buy a full plate goes up dramatically, because once you take that micro action, micro commitment's a lot easier for you to say yes to the bigger thing. So we kind of want to get that working. So within 30 seconds, if you can't do it within 30 seconds, which you can, then within 5 minutes, 100 times more likely. Another statistic that you guys might enjoy is you're also 391%. So you convert leads 391% faster whenever you do this as well. So you collect way more cash up front for your business that you can then reinvest and put back into ad spend, into hiring, into whatever you do. You make long story short, you make way more money when you do this all across the board. You lose a ton of money when you're not doing this and you can't see it. And these are the invisible leaky sales systems that are killing businesses. So 2, okay, sounds good, Nick. I got them, you know, they filled out the form or they called in, but I can't get them to show up to the appointment. Okay, so show it, right? Everybody's busy, everybody's online, they're scrolling, they're looking at their ex-girlfriend, they're doing whatever the hell they're doing, wasting their time. You're competing for the attention of this, so I always tell people, overbearing is gonna trump underbearing in any sort of instance. So if you're like, am I following up too much? No, definitely. Like, follow up way too much rather than way too little, because this is just the day and age. But to increase show rate, just like anything else, is the actual formula for this. And what it is it's proof plus clarity plus commitment plus reminders equals show rate. Not only show rate, but increased high likelihood of a very positive show rate. Now, the actual points in this proof is, okay, how confident are they in your ability to get the job done? So if they saw your ad, like, is there social proof? Have you done it before? Is there data? Like, is there back-end data? Is there snapshots? Is there other testimonials from real people? Like, all of these things are adding proof. Clarity, message to market match. Hey, I help entrepreneurs that are doing at least 10,000, local service-based entrepreneurs that are doing at least $10,000 in revenue. Scale way beyond that with paid advertising and sales automation, okay? So even more granular than that would be like something like, hey, I help underwater denture dentists secure eight-figure founder denture replacements past the age of 65 plus retirement by running Google ads, and if it doesn't work, then I'll give you $5,000. So it's like super extreme, insane example, but hyper-targeted messaging provides more clarity, okay? Commitment, double tie down. So anytime, like, once you get the form submitted or you get the inbound call, if you're in a business where you need to book a meeting, then you want to do a double tie down. Okay, John, sweet. Like, there's 2 ways to do this. So there's the option close and then there's the calendar close. The calendar close is like, what's your calendar like tomorrow? Oh, well, you know, I work from 9 to 5. Sweet, I have a slot open at 8 a.m. or 6 p.m. Which one do you want? You see what I did? I found out their calendar time when they're working, suggested a time outside of that, because I know they can't give me an interference objection. Second way to do that is, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get you on the call. I got 2 times tomorrow, 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. Which one do you want? It's called option close. And then you can use either one, experiment with either one and see what works best for you. They both can work. And after they commit to that, this is where you increase the show rate. So they say, hey, let's do 8 a.m. tomorrow. I say, okay, sweet, John. So I got you penciled in for 8 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, June 27th. I repeat it once. And I say, is there any reason, John, that you can think of that you might not be able to make it tomorrow at 8 a.m.? I repeat it twice. He said, no, we're good. Okay, sounds good, John. Just letting you know, my time is extremely valuable. So please, if you need to reschedule or anything like that, let us know. But again, it sounds like we're good to roll. So we'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 a.m. You see, it's like, that's the 3rd time that I said it. I'm getting a verbal commitment. A lot easier to get a physical one once I get a verbal one. And then automated reminders. Again, we have all the software and the technology to do this, install this stuff. This is SMS and this is email. I like both of them. And I like a 24-hour cadence, and then an hour cadence, and then a 30 or a 15-minute cadence for the SMS and the email reminders. So again, rock the speed to lead. Now we've covered show rate. Now let's cover the third one that people mess up. So no scripts, no frameworks, no processes. The last thing that I want to do when I'm looking at sales for any type of business is throw my people to the wolves. And what I mean by that is that I can work with people that have attitude, hunger, drive, and willingness to learn all day long, more than I can work with anybody else, right? Because all I need is somebody that has those traits, and then we're gonna give them the scripts and the conversation frameworks and the processes to succeed if they can adhere to that, right? And if they can deal with failure and they have the right mindset to be able to succeed. The last thing I want is for someone to call into my business, or for my lead to be calling people outbound or inbound, just saying random stuff. There always needs to be some form of a script, and it's not the script that comes to mind of a Google robot calling you, trying to get you to look at your Google Ads account. It's not like that, okay? It's like, when I'm talking about a script, I'm talking about a framework that is logical, that takes them from current state, desired future reality. And makes my product or service or offer the bridge that is going to get them from current state to desired future reality. And I also want to build a gap. Jeremy Miner talks about this quite a bit. I want to build a gap in their mind so that they can see, fuck, this is where I'm at, this is where I need to be. So like, hey, like what are you doing right now in revenue? 10,000. What's your target revenue? 25,000. Okay, well, why haven't you been able to hit that target, right? And then like, see, like I'm really gonna make it visceral to kind of agitate the pain, and then it's a lot easier to introduce product and solution as the bridge that's gonna take them from here to there, as the missing thing and the solution that's ultimately gonna get them to where they wanna be. And so this stuff needs to be tested. Every single business is different, but again, there's a line of questioning that sounds super natural, like me and you are just having a conversation, and you're never gonna know that I'm speaking from a script, because it just makes sense. What I'm saying is like guiding you through this process and taking you from there to commitment, right? And as fast as possible, depending on the business and the life cycles, the sales cycle and the life cycle of the sales cycle, okay? So covered that. Now, let's talk about offers. So criteria: dream outcome, proof stack depth, guarantee strength, time to first win, price to value gap, risk perception, objection simplicity. So the higher you rank on each one of these, the better your offer is. So what is the perceived likelihood that they're gonna hit their dream outcome? Proof stack depth, we covered that. Basically, like, how well did you communicate that? Whether it's a video, a sales letter, a direct mailer, like how confident are they in you or your business to get the job done? Guarantee strength, money back guarantee. I'll pay you $5,000 if I don't hit X target within Y time type of guarantee. Time to first win. So like how, like I can get you 12 roofing jobs in 7 days, like quick in 3 days, even better, right? So the faster the first win, the better. The price to value gap. So like $17,000 is all it costs for you to come work with me one-on-one. Like, oh fuck, that's high. So like I need to stack an immense amount. I need to make it so easy for you to say yes to that, or my ICP to say yes to that, based on stacking the value to make that number seem incredibly and intensely small. Risk perception. Is there risk reversal in place? Again, like super strong guarantees take away risk in a lot of instances. And objection simplicity. Kind of self-explanatory there. So over 65 is going to be absolutely irresistible. And yeah, so you can pause this if you want to, and you can rank your offer and see where you're at. And you can also get help from us for free with that. Local service-based cheat codes. So I know I'm going into like these like crazy offers, but I want to give like you local service-based businesses. Like we've tested a lot of things, and a lot of you guys can like run these little I call them like deal buster offers, because they're almost clickbait, but they work super well. So like we ran this with a party business. We tested a bunch of different offers, a bunch of crazy shit, and we found that on the homepage, when we just offer like $50 off, like now, and then just put like in the next like only when you book now, off of your inflatable. So if it's like a $450 like for 2 hours, then I give them 50 off, and I need a $50 deposit. 100% money back, guarantee, no questions asked. If you need to cancel your date up until then, I think I had one person cancel with the entirety. Whenever we scale that business out, we only had one person cancel out of like hundreds, and like 400, like 1 in every 400 would actually request the money back. So this works super good. We were able to overcome like that decision fatigue by just getting their credit card right there on the phone, giving them $50 off, because no one else everyone has these inflatables and they need to get them because their kid's having a birthday party. And so I was like, okay, they need to get them, so we can like kind of like ramp it up and get really aggressive with the sales process. And so like I just give them a better deal, a slightly better deal than the marketplace, and then a mini deposit, 100% money back. Again, I'm taking away all of the risk, and I'm giving them a guarantee. The dream outcome is already obvious because they're gonna get it. We have it, it's in stock at the date and the available time. And yeah, this killed. So the cool thing about this, like you could do $47, you know, here's a coupon for 25% off today only for like drain specials for plumbers, or whatever the fuck plumbers, like whatever the fuck the services are called that plumbers run, right? The cool thing about those type of things is that they don't know your price. So if you want to, now this is totally up to you and how you feel and your ethos and your life, but if you want to, like they don't know your price. So you can say that you took off 25%, or you can say that you took off $197, because as long as your price is not even like on the website. So like you can use that kind of like price or percentage based incentivization for things that are like direct response marketing. Like I'm not gonna wait around for a week to get the fucking toilet fixed. Like I'm just gonna call somebody super fast, and 50% of people go with the first business that contacts them. So again, back to the example of if you can't afford to be missing phone calls, every single time that you miss a phone call and you know it doesn't get logged in the CRM, they don't get an auto text back, or you get back to them whenever you want to, just remind yourself that 50% of those are clearly lost customers, because the data shows that 50% of people are just gonna go with the first business that they interact with, right? So just imagine that 50% of your revenue is burning in midair without implementing an effective sales automation and CRM system, okay? So it's super important to do these things. The reason that I stress on it is because that all of this stuff that I'm giving you is rooted in just simple mathematics, and there's some behavioral psychology like with the offers and stuff like that. But again, my background is going to be in behavioral psychology and marketing and advertising, and so I'm always looking at the unit economics of the business and doing math to make these things make sense for you guys, and then giving you real world examples based on data from experiments that we've run working with tons and tons and tons and tons of businesses. Okay, so super cool stuff. Some other stats: 90% of leads go inactive after 30 days. So they're just basically dead. And a lot of other stuff, man. There's a lot of other stuff. Basically, what you need to fix is speed to lead, show rate, and then get a script, have a conversation framework, make it make sense. And then always remember that this is your system. You're attracting people into this. You're acquiring the qualified traffic, converting the leads, closing the opportunity to do a deal, retain the customer, expand them, and then evangelize them. So hopefully this helps. You can go to lordsonly.com and get 30 plus leads in 14 days for only $1. As of now, at least you can. So I hope to see you there and look forward to scaling your business.